The agents we've seen in the movies are highly skilled, proficient with firearms, and their fighting skills are quite outstanding. But the same is true of real agents. According to a conservative estimate, there are hundreds of thousands of secret agents all over the world carrying out secret missions. Their identities and actions are mysterious, especially the agents of the US Central Intelligence Agency. So how to become a secret agent? What kind of conditions are required? Today we will talk about CIA agents and their special careers. During World War II, the United States did not yet have a unified intelligence agency. There are multiple intelligence agencies within the United States, but they do not coordinate or share information. In 1940, British intelligence agencies reported to the United States that Japan had launched 2 super battleships, but the US intelligence agencies were completely unaware of this. In 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor in the United States, which caused a huge shock in American society. Why is there no forecast for such a huge military operation? In fact, at that time, multiple intelligence agencies in the United States had learned of Japan's sneak attack plan. But no one paid attention to it, and no one submitted it to the president, so many people believe that the United States deliberately let Pearl Harbor fall to start a war. So President Roosevelt at the time decided to set up a coordination department, the Office of Strategic Intelligence, to unify all intelligence in the United States. Later, this department developed into the Central Intelligence Agency, also known as CIA. At that time, there was also an intelligence agency in the United States, the FBI. The FBI is part of the Department of Justice, which is essentially a police system and is responsible for investigating major criminal activities in the United States. The CIA is an independent agency, mainly engaged in overseas espionage and intelligence operations. The mission of the CIA is to collect intelligence on national security and report directly to the president. In short, it is an agency that provides high-level US intelligence on national security. Since its establishment in 1947, CIA has had a competitive relationship with FBI, especially when the famous American politician Edgar Hoover was in charge of the FBI director for more than 40 years. The relationship between him and the CIA can be described as very tense. The 2 intelligence agencies fought openly and secretly, and once reached the point where fire and water were incompatible. Because before the establishment of the CIA, all the intelligence of the United States was provided by the FBI. And after the Pearl Harbor incident, President Roosevelt established the Strategic Intelligence Agency, which is responsible for collecting overseas intelligence. But Hoover firmly opposed it, because this would reduce the authority of the FBI's overseas activities. Once, agents of the Strategic Intelligence Service secretly entered the Spanish embassy in the United States in order to investigate the activities of Spanish spies in the United States. But Hoover found out that he believed that the FBI was responsible for domestic intelligence, so he not only ordered to sabotage the operation, but also went to the president to file a complaint. In the end, Roosevelt had to make a compromise, handing over intelligence in Europe and Asia to the Office of Strategic Intelligence, and handing over business in North and South America to the FBI. It was during World War II, and one can imagine how much the president relied on these intelligence agencies, because sometimes an important piece of intelligence could change the situation on the battlefield. After President Truman took office, he decided to upgrade the Office of Strategic Intelligence to the Central Intelligence Agency, which is responsible for all overseas intelligence of the United States, while the FBI focuses on the United States, which made Hoover very angry. But there is nothing to do, especially in the FBI's traditional intelligence area. Hoover in South America still ordered local agents to continue collecting intelligence, which made a lot of work and CIA duplication. And what's even more exaggerated is that Hoover also used FBI agents to investigate CIA agents. After this action was known by the CIA, they sent an intermediary to meet Hoover and handed him a lot of photos, all about the ambiguous photos between Hoover and his deputy. It turns out that the CIA, who is proficient in intelligence, has long grasped the homosexual relationship between Hoover and his deputy, and then Hoover restrained himself. After Hoover's death, the NBA and CIA got back on track and tended to cooperate. Although there will still be friction between the two institutions, the overall interests are the same. That is, to maintain the national security of the United States. Although CIA is quite mysterious, unlike most people's imagination, CIA's agents do not necessarily need to be proficient in firearms and fighting. because their core task is to collect intelligence rather than act as killers. High IQ and skill are obviously more important. CIA has always been cooperating with the best universities in the United States, selecting excellent graduates, especially science students majoring in computer and information, to serve as its employees, because CIA believes that science students have stronger logical thinking ability than liberal arts students and are also more rational and less impulsive. In addition, it also accepts applications from the public. A website dedicated to recruiting employees for CIA indicates that the recruitment criteria require American citizens between the ages of 18 and 35, with a bachelor's degree and a minimum GPA of 3.0, have a strong interest in international affairs, have strong interpersonal skills and excellent writing skills. These conditions do not seem to be difficult, but these are only basic items, and there are bonus items. For example, experience of living abroad, sensitivity to other cultures, and excellent foreign language skills. CIA recruits not only Americans, but also welcomes American immigrants. Therefore, it is best for these immigrants to be proficient in a key language other than English, such as Arabic, Persian, Turkish, Kurdish, Korean, and Chinese. American immigrants who have lived in these areas are also the key network objects of CIA. After meeting these conditions, they will be reviewed for a period of time to see the candidate's background experience to ensure whether he is the best candidate. If you want to become a CIA agent, you need to have at least 3 years of criminal investigation experience, have a considerable understanding of criminal investigation technology, be able to independently collect and analyze large amounts of data, and be able to make quick judgments in crisis situations, possesses strong negotiation skills and is able to work under great pressure, have not used illegal drugs in the past 12 months. After passing these conditions, the final step is to enter the psychological test stage of CIA, which is a crucial step for becoming an agent this time. These test questions are very weird, all based on criminal psychology settings. For example, candidates will be led to a room with 20 items in it, including newspaper clippings, clothes, notes, daily necessities. The examiner will tell the candidate that here are the things left by a person who has lived for 3 days. The candidate needs to judge the general appearance and situation of the person within 5 minutes by observing and touching these objects. Just after the candidates have completed these tests, there will be a stress test. That is, without prior notice, the candidate is suddenly taken to a small black room in the basement without any explanation, and then the candidate's performance is watched. Only after passing a series of tests can one become a trainee agent. If they can't perform the task immediately, they have to accept an 18-month training from the CIA, including criminal investigation training, negotiation skills training, criminal psychology, anti-stress polygraph training, and special missions, firearms demolition training. The spies who perform special missions overseas are the most risky spies, except for their excellent psychological quality and skills. They also need to undergo further training in the CIA's Special Anti-Espionage Center, and only with more than 3 years of work experience will they be dispatched to perform espionage missions. The main job of CIA agents is intelligence, and obtaining intelligence is a kind of extremely valuable and important information related to national security. In order to obtain this information, agents need to use all resources to disguise, deceive threats, and even use force. But generally speaking, the most common method they use is to pretend to be a top-notch agent, because agents will not reveal their true identities. After joining the CIA, they will sign a non-disclosure agreement, and even the closest family members around them cannot disclose it. They usually say they work for a sales company that travels a lot, or work in a government department. When an agent has some kind of overseas experience, or is proficient in the language of a certain region, he will be assigned to that region and will become a permanent resident in that region, possibly for more than 10 years, but he will hide his identity. It may be an ordinary clerk of the US Embassy in the local area, or a member of the local humanitarian relief organization, or a medical staff, or a translator, but these are all unobtrusive positions. The purpose is to minimize the risk. They are good at talking and will participate in various activities of the local people, so that people will be defenseless against them. Some CIA agents are women, and the purpose of sending female agents is not to use erotic to approach the target, but women will make people feel less defensive, regardless of the use of any means. It all boils down to using human nature to find out who the target of manipulation is. The target group may be short of money, may need protection, or may have some special needs. So the main job of the CIA agent was to observe the approaching breach until intelligence was obtained. They also have to protect themselves and their informants from being exposed, while also guarding against double agents, and live a lie every day without changing their faces. Every agent who is able to retire in one piece without being exposed during his career is a miracle. So did you enjoy watching the video? Have you thought about becoming a CIA agent? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button below the video, and click subscribe to stay on the top of our amazing stories from Top Amazing Studio.